Hi, it's Rich at Marvelous Ministries. Yes, I need a haircut. But I just woke up. I've been up since 4:30. But here's what I've been hearing this morning. God brought two imperfect people together in marriage. He brought them together, and they're normal. They each have a history. One home and another home. People that were raised a certain way. Neither home perfect. To create a new home. To create another environment for a family to live together, to raise children, to share life together. And it's going to be imperfect. And that's normal. But if you look at your marriage and look at your family and compare it to the households you came from, what similarities do you end up with? In my home, there was no love. There was a form of godliness, but lacking His Spirit and power therein. It was more like religion, just going to church, depending upon church, or just performing at church with no dependence on God. He doesn't want us to live a life thinking of Him, but dependent upon ourselves. See, the serpent wanted Adam and Eve and all mankind to focus on themselves, depend on themselves. It's okay to think about God a little bit here and there. It's okay to go to church. But if your dependence is not on Him, but yourselves, then Satan has done what he wants to do. In my home, with my wife and our children, what we had was some improvement in some areas. My wife had one area where she wanted an improvement with the relationship between her and her children, to have a closer relationship. In her home growing up, it wasn't a good, close, loving family. Her dad was never home. There's reasons for that. I don't know if I should put that in the video. In my home, there was just no love. We were at each other's throats quite often, tolerating each other or putting up with each other. Well, I can say honestly that's what my family life was like in my home with my wife and my children. Putting on an appearance on the surface of loving and caring about each other, but realistically it was not what God would be proud of. And now we have some of the same thing. My biological daughter and son are broken like I was growing up. But we've also added into it that I'm not there anymore. I've been gone more than 2 years. Had some outside help with the rear end collision and brain injury and all those things. But also had help internally too, with people living their lives in a manner that would not please God. And people acting in fear, people being angry and sinning, and one person hurting another. I don't think God's going to look at our marriage and our home and think it's a successful endeavor. Not something He's going to be proud of or pleased with. But there's still hope, and there's always hope. See, during the separation, instead of me being codependent on my wife's feelings, kind of like Adam and Eve in the garden, serpent deceived Eve to eat the fruit. Adam ate it to please his wife. And they both stopped thinking about trying to live to please God. So things really are different, but still stay the same. So I hope and pray with me sharing these things, it will bring to the surface in other people's lives. A different focus, a different point of view. And the desire is for us to live a godly life, loving God and loving each other, and to go and sin no more. Amen.